wanted to do a video on advising families with LGBTQ family members, with your parents, kids, whoever. Alright, so there's so many things I've seen on YouTube in general. Like, I watched different YouTubers' videos, their coming out stories, and, you know, I've read different stories, seen different stories on the news. I didn't personally experience it, but I do know a few that have. So, in my opinion, there's just so much negativity towards people, even in the family unit. There's so many negative things I've seen. Like, for example, some parents, if it's your child, there'll be parents that kick their kid out. They just completely kick them out on the street, just disown their own child just because they're not like them, just because they're different, whether they're just because they're part of our community, and it's not right. It's not okay. I mean, if I was a parent, I could not do it. You know, I still love your kid no matter what. Yeah, it may be hard at first. You may not understand it, but if you're a parent of a kid that's part of our community, or a sibling, or whatever, grandparent, any part of a family unit, it's not cool to kick them out, guys. Yeah, you may not understand it, but that's when you go to them and you ask questions. Yeah, you may be shocked at first. Yeah, you may not know what to say or do at first, which is okay, you know? They don't expect you to just be like, "Oh, okay, thanks for telling me," and move on, you know? Yeah, it's easier for some than others. Way easier for some, because some parents get it, and they're just like, doesn't matter, I love you no matter what. Some could care less, and just continue living their lives like they lived it before they came out. Like, they just don't give a crap. But then there's others that just are completely shocked, completely shocked, and they don't know what to say or do in that moment, which is fine. But just because you're having a rough time with it, or rough time understanding it, or understand what they've been through or are going through, doesn't mean you push them away. Yeah, you may need some time, which is understandable, it's a big thing. It's not easy for a young kid, teenager, young adult, older adult, no matter what age you are. It's not an easy thing to do. It's just not. No matter what generation you're from or grew up in or where people are at now, it hasn't really gotten much easier. I mean, so if you need time, don't ghost them or answering their text messages or calls or whatever. I mean, you can go up to them face to face and be like, "Hey, I just need some time to process this," or whatever. Whatever you have to do to somewhat understand it. If you can't fully understand it, fine. At least try. That's all they ask for. You know, it's. I mean, there's just there's family members that will just no matter if it's a kid or a teenager or a young adult like me, there's and you're still living with family members, you know, when you tell them, or even if you're not, it's so hard. But it's almost harder when you're still living with family members, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion, that to tell them because it's kind of it's a scary thing because you don't know how they're gonna react. You may be the only one in the family that isn't straight, so they've never dealt with it before. So I mean, and I mean, you're on your end thinking, well, how am I gonna come out to where they understand? Are they going to understand? I mean, there's just so many questions. You just have all these questions in your mind leading up to it. How are they going to react? You know, like I said in my second video, which was my coming out video, that where I grew up, well, still live around where I grew up, but where I grew up, and even now it really hasn't changed. There's just people that they don't understand, it's closed-minded place. I mean, it's even harder in a closed-minded place than if you live in, like, a city, big city, because of how people are. It wasn't easy for me. It really wasn't. And there's still people I haven't told. They might have figured it out and just not said anything to me. But because I'm still trying to figure out how to tell them. I told my immediate family, and so far that's about it. Now I haven't told anybody, but that's okay. Eventually I will. But my point is that I was so scared once I figured it out completely. I was so scared to come out because of where I live and who my family is and the church we go to, and there was just a lot of factors in going into it. And it just, you know, I mean, I came out, like I said, to my siblings first because it was a lot easier, you know. But luckily, I had a sister that's a lesbian that kind of, her and my sister in law kind of helped me out. And there has been people saying that if you have a family member or you have friends, like you surround yourself around like people from the LGBT community that they like push you to be gay or be lesbian or be part of the community. They like try to get you to be. Well, that's not true. Just a bunch of baloney, you know. It's not like a club. It's not like a thing. I mean, and there's just so many people that say we choose it, like I said in past videos, which is fine. They can think that, you know. But if you're, it's so hard because especially with people that you've been close to, people that are like family, people that are that you're really close to, you know. Those are the hardest because you're so close to them and you don't want to. But on the other hand, you're like, I'm gonna stop being who they think I should be, you know. I'm gonna stop playing straight, basically. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I shook it off a lot in high school and stuff, like I said in my video, because of certain reasons. And I go more in depth on that in my coming out video, so yeah, go check that out. But I mean, thing is yeah, we want to be accepted and we don't want to be pushed away. I mean, there's so many families. I mean, I've heard more on like the parent side of it, but I mean, I've heard that some others too, like other family members. I've heard it from person of our community that their family members said different things, you know. I mean, I've heard that, and I didn't say I've actually seen it in videos and stuff, that they stop testing them. I mean, they'll talk to them when they're around, basically. Like if it's a family event and they're there, Don't make small talk, or they're just completely rude to them. Whatever, whatever. But that hurts, especially because it's family members. You don't want to lose your family for being the person you really are, or close friends. Anybody close to you. I mean, they're just, like I was saying, I mean, some will tell them, and then they'll talk to them when they're around, but they won't go out of their way anymore to meet with them. They won't say, "Hey, wanna go out to eat?" We're no different. It's not like a light switch. We don't just turn it on and, oh, we're automatically part of the community. No. Some it just takes longer to figure out. And there's some that won't there's some families that won't let them be the real them, their authentic self, be who they're really supposed to be. They'll suppress it down. Or they'll say that you need to go out with a guy or a girl. Like if you're gay or you're lesbian, you know, for instance, that would be like, for example, which luckily my parents weren't like this, but that would be, for example, like if I was, let's say I was a teenager, let's say I came out when I was a teenager, hypothetically, I came out after high school, but hypothetically, and it would be like my mom, and my dad, or it could be both of them, pushing me to go out with a guy because it's, you can't be that way. It's like it's a foreign thing. It's like, there's just so many that will, if a guy's, if it's a boy and they're gay, try to make them out, try to make them go out with a girl to, I don't know, because I think it'll, like it's a light switch or something. Like it's just gonna turn the gay off and they're gonna be straight. It's not a joy. And vice versa, like I said, nobody meets anybody gay or part of the community. And then there's just, I don't know, there's so many people that are against us marrying, of course, and then the kids, that's a whole another topic that I'll probably save for another video. But I want to give you guys some advice. Because just because they come out to you, the family member gets the courage to come out to you, doesn't mean they change. And I mean, sometimes they're in a relationship secretly, and when they come out to you, and then they'll wait a little while to introduce you to their partner because you know because they're scared. They don't know what to do because their parents or their family saying telling them how great this their relationship is or whatever. Coming up with all these things, because they think they're single, but they're trying to get them to go out with a guy or a girl. Because they haven't came out doesn't mean they're straight. Don't push anything on them. You know, let them figure out who they are. They're straight. They're straight. If they're not, they're not. And it's not. I mean, just because. I mean, you don't get influenced. There's so many that think if you have a gay teacher or faculty member in the schools or whatever, friends, whatever, whoever it is, you know, they think, oh, they influence them, they turn them gay. No. And like with the choice thing, whenever I say that it's not a choice, well, it's not. Like, it is fun. But just the best thing is to sit down with them when you feel comfortable to sit down with them and ask them questions. I mean, I know how it is to get the Bible basically thrown in your face and different verses. And basically, since they don't understand it, they just, I mean, throw the whole, basically throw their religion in your face, their beliefs in your face. I mean, I had it happen personally, so um, I get it. But yeah, a Christian and by the LGBTQ community, which I get totally. There's so many people that don't agree with that either. Like say that we can't be a Christian and not be straight, basically. But if you have questions, sit down with them and ask those questions. I'm sure they'll be happy to answer them because, all they want is the same relationship they had with you before. Yeah, maybe it will change a little bit, but there's just cruelty in families. I mean, families break apart just just because there's somebody in their family that came out, you know. I mean, that shouldn't split you apart. That shouldn't be something that just divides your family. We should rally around them and say we accept you no matter what and be real, you know? I mean, yeah, I know how it is to be told, oh, we accept you. I understand. I love you anyway. Well, I mean, especially my parents, but I mean, I don't do anything about it, you know? I've gotten told that, you know, several times by my mom, for instance, but I, it just sounds so stupid. There's so many that will tell their family member, hey, we accept you, love you no matter what, all this stuff. You can say that all you want, but if you don't mean it, then it doesn't mean anything. There's so many that say what they think they want to hear, and it's not real, guys. Or they're still processing it, but they act like they accept it. I mean, it on the whole saying you go to hell and all this stuff. Fine, you know. You think we go to hell for loving differently than you do? Fine, whatever. Just keep this advice in mind. Watch this video if you have to. It's just be real. Alright, you guys, please subscribe and watch and like my videos. Thank you. Leave a comment. I like to hear what you guys had to say on any of my videos.